Welcome back. Tessa, great to see you. It looks like you're all moved into your new place.
Yes.
Congratulations. It looks like
Thank you.
home.
It has been it's been a marathon week, but we are basically all settled in and loving it.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, it looks great. You have to give me a virtual tour of the place sometime.
I'd
Um,
love to. I'd love to. One of the best things is there's a front porch now, and we're kind of in a more rural area, so I can spend a lot of time outside. Well, okay, come summertime, probably not. But right now, our porch this morning, I was working on a painting project out there,
yeah,
and I was cooking. The sun was coming in. The porch is painted white, but it was probably like 80 something degrees on that porch. I was like
that,
sweating.
that sounds pretty
It's like
sweet, Tessa.
it's
Sounds pretty
December
sweet.
11th, and I'm out there in a tank top sweating.
Oh my goodness. Do you have a rocking chair?
Not yet, but we
Yeah,
want to get we need to get some, so
yeah,
it'll be
yeah. You need
perfect.
you need
Yeah.
rockers and lemonade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Well, what's new with you?
Boy, not well. There's a lot new, but what are we going to talk about today? This is
Yeah,
going
what
to
are
be a
we
weird show. Uh,
Yeah, what are we
we
talking about
had
today?
we had a guest cancel. I saw the email while we were waiting for them to jump on because I was in back-to-back meetings. We're like, "Where's our guest?" They canceled.
Here we go.
I
So
had some
plan B.
hard-hitting questions,
Yeah.
and they did not feel like they were prepared to answer them. So they canceled. That's all right.
Ooh.
Maybe we'll get somebody else from said corporation to jump
Mhm.
on and answer some hard hitting questions. But as we were talking about before we decided to go ahead with the show today, it's like sometimes for those tough questions, you need an engineer, but the
Yeah.
engineers aren't the people who want to come on a podcast. So
Or
what do
it's
you
not who
do?
the company wants us to showcase.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we
They
need
need
yeah, I don't think the sales rep could probably answer your detailed, very scientific questions.
yeah, the PR rep is the one who
Yeah.
nixed the
Yeah.
podcast, I think. But that's okay. That's okay. We're just gonna pivot, and it's probably gonna
Yep.
be a shorter show today. But before we get into any specific content, let's give a shout out to our sponsors, IEB, Inspector Empire Builder. And I know they give me some stuff to talk about, but okay, I'll cover this. The big thing coming up here is the convention. It's IEB Unite, and it's coming up May 15th through 17th. That's the next big thing. And I'll talk more about that in the future. That's a ways out. Right now, what I want to say is I attend these weekly calls for my group. And yesterday, I almost just had my mind blown with this new idea that we came up with. I shouldn't even say we, somebody else just came up with the idea.
Hmm.
And I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag yet. I'm not even sure we're going to jump on it, but my mind was just filled with ideas. And I went to bed thinking about how to implement this new business thing. And
Oh,
that's
cool.
that's why I'm a part of this group, is just for
That's
all
very
the
cool.
ideas that I get. So,
Yeah,
Inspector
that's
Empire
great.
Builder, lots of great ideas. So today, I thought, it's the spending season, it's the buying season where people buy stuff for other people and sometimes buy stuff for themselves. And I
Mhm.
thought maybe we could just talk about some new gadgets out there that I've bought for my house or I'm testing out. How's that sound?
I would love to hear what you've been up to recently,
Okay.
Ruben. Let's
Okay.
dive in.
All right. So we'll cover a few things. The first one would be a review of a new infrared camera. This is a camera that plugs into your phone, and this is another manufacturer that reached out to me. The latest one I tested is called the TopDon, as in TOP Top Don, as in DON, and it's all
Hmm.
one word. The TopDon, and the model they sent me was a TC002C Duo. And it gets the name Duo because it comes with a USB plug. So you can use, or a USB-C plug. So you
Mhm.
can use it with either an Android or a, what do they call it, an iPhone? That's not the generic term. The Apple OS platform.
Okay. Okay.
So you can use it with either one. And I'm not gonna get into all the specifics here. If you want to see my review of it, you can go to the website. I did a video. It's probably 10 to 15 minutes long. I got a blog post. I got a ton of sample images comparing this to some other camera. But the bottom line is, I thought this camera was a little bit too big and bulky. And the case that it came with was almost the size of a mobile phone, whereas the mobile infrared camera that I carry around in my backpack has a case that is, I don't know, it's about twice the size of my thumb. I mean, it's really small. So you can put this camera in any little pocket. You carry it around inconspicuously. And I always have an infrared camera with me. So compared to that, it's much bigger and bulkier. I'm not as likely to take it with me everywhere. And the price point for this was much higher than some other very, very comparable cameras, like the one I carry around all the time.
Okay.
They're selling it, their Black Friday special, which is now over. Today you can get it on Amazon for $250. But the one that I really like that I carry around with me was only like $170 on Amazon. And that's for an Android. So bottom line is, I think there's better cameras out there if you're an Android user. The one that I happen to carry around with me all the time is this one called what is it? I'm looking at their listing right now, and it doesn't tell me on Amazon. It just says thermal camera. Okay.
Oh, funny.
It's called the Thermal Master P2. I think that's probably the best value if you have an Android phone. If you have the Apple OS, I think the TopDon is comparable to anything else out there that you might buy. I don't know why, but the Apple OS platform seems to have more expensive products. So it's just as good as anything else out there. So if you're an Apple user, I'd say this is a great product. For $250, you get a very nice mobile phone infrared camera. I don't recommend it for home inspection use, except as a backup. I mean, if you're a home inspector, buy a dedicated camera, carry something around that you can drop. I mean, if you're trying to plug one of these mobile phone cameras into your phone and you drop your phone one time with this thing stuck in the charging port, you're probably going to break the charging port on your phone. And then what do you do? So it's not great for day-to-day use, but it's a great backup camera if your primary camera dies or you forget it at home or something like that.
Well, I'm just thinking for a lot of the clientele I'm working with, it could be contractors or builders or like HVAC people or even homeowners. Like the fact that you can get a good IR camera for less than $200 these days is great for the average Joe,
Oh,
A
absolutely.
home inspector, it's different, but there's some great products out there nowadays.
Yep. And I feel like I have relegated myself to the average Joe user level now. I mean,
Same.
yeah, you're not using it every day, so
No.
whatever you have will probably work fine.
Yeah, the one you gave me, Reuben, is great. And it serves its purpose, and I appreciate that having that tool with me still. I still use it every time I do a house coach appointment.
Good. Glad to hear it. All right, so that was number one. Number two is I got as a gift, somebody kind of as a thank you, they gave me something that they knew I'd been wanting. I had a good buddy of mine. We were talking about coffee, and he's telling me he's got this instant hot water dispenser that sits on his counter. You can buy those hot water dispensers that sit underneath the sink, and it gets kind of wired in and plumbed in, and you can get near boiling water right away. Well, this is kind of the same thing, but it's maybe a little bit cheaper version of it where it just sits on your counter and it holds
I like that better.
Maybe a gallon or two of water. You refill it, and it keeps the water at whatever temperature you set it at. I've got it set at 208 degrees. And so anytime you want tea or coffee, I do the pour over coffee, so I only make a cup at a time. Or you want to, like my daughter loves to make ramen. Don't judge.
I love ramen. I so does
It's
Andrew.
so
He
bad
cooks it all
for
the
you.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying I don't like it either, but anytime you want some instant water, it's a hot water dispenser. And so got this set up on my counter. And of course, my wife's first thing, Anna's like, "Well, how much is this thing gonna cost? You know, what are we gonna pay?" And it's like, it's a good point. You got this thing that's keeping water hot all the time. Is this gonna be $20 a month in electricity, and is it worth it? And so
Mhm.
anytime we got questions like that, I like to have a good answer. I say, I don't know, but we will find out. And a long time ago, maybe 10, maybe no, probably 15 to 20 years ago, I bought this thing online. It's called the Kilowatt EZ. And it's just this little thing that plugs into an outlet. It's got a digital display. It's got a few buttons on the front, and then it's got a receptacle. So this plugs into your outlet, and you plug whatever you're using, like your hot water dispenser, into the device. And it's got a few buttons on here. You can adjust what your current energy use, your current electricity cost is. And in my area during the winter, we're paying 11 cents per kilowatt hour. It's something you can easily find on your electricity bill, or you can probably even Google it for your area. You can figure out what you're paying per kilowatt hour. You put that in, and then this thing will just tell you how much you're spending on electricity. So I
Cool.
had to, I plug this in, and then I plug my hot water dispenser in, and then I just kind of let it go. And then I come back after a week and I see, okay, I have spent 57 cents in electricity over a week to keep my water hot. I can afford
Wow.
that. It's not that big of a deal. So
Wow.
I'm
Very
a,
cool.
yeah, so I'm a huge fan of this, but I knew I wanted to test this out. And I was thinking, I've had this same energy monitor for the last, whatever I said, 15, 20 years. And so I thought I should get online and I should see what else is out there. So I had all of these, and Tessa, I'm holding up to the screen now. I've got 4 of them that I stacked together, and I even used a 5th, which I'm not holding in my hand here. I bought a whole bunch of new home energy monitors, point of use monitors, to
I love this
track
so
and
much.
compare. I'm kind of a geek about this, and I'm gonna, I'm not ready to share all the pros and cons of all of them, and I don't think you
Okay.
really need it. I'll just give you my advice. Here's
Yeah, that's great.
I'm gonna cut through all the clutter, and I'll tell you, if you want a home energy monitor, I think the best way to go is I wait. Let me pull it up on my phone because I'm gonna forget what it's called. It's made by TC. Is it TP-Link? They're the ones who make the routers.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah, they make routers.
Sounds familiar.
And this line is called TAPO, TAPO, and it's basically just a smart plug. It's a small device that plugs into a receptacle. It's a tiny little box, and then it's got a receptacle itself for you to plug a device into. And you can I've got these all over my house for things that plug in,
Okay.
and you can program them to turn on and off. For instance, all right,
Wow.
I have Alexa devices all over my house. I'm going to unplug this one so it doesn't hear me talk. And when it's time for me to go to bed, I say, computer, turn off Reuben's light. And there's a lamp plugged into my nightstand, and it's plugged into the smart switch, and then it's paired with my Alexa and all that. And you can control all of these devices with your voice, and they're very inexpensive. And this line that Tapo makes, I went on Amazon and I was able to buy a 4-pack of these that also offer energy monitoring. So you can go in the app and they give you graphs and everything. Any way you want to break it down, it tells you how much you're using in electricity. I was able to buy a 4-pack of these for like $20. So I'm paying
Okay.
$5 each for both an energy monitor and a smart plug. And it made
Crazy.
me wonder, why have I ever bought any smart plugs that don't have a built-in energy monitor? It's so cheap. So
Yeah.
I bought a 4-pack, and I'm very happy with this. And I actually set
Wow.
this up so that my instant hot water dispenser turns off at a certain time in the evening where we know we're not going to use any more water. And then it
Yeah.
turns back on again in time for my
Oh,
water to be scalding hot when I wake up in the morning. So I'm cutting out about 8 hours of use every day. It just automatically turns it on and off. So
wow. So, can anybody control these devices through Alexa for you? Like they just speak and hey Alexa, turn this off or whatever, or is this an app on your phone that you're controlling everything with?
well, yes to both of those.
Okay. Okay.
For this particular one that I've got plugged into my hot water dispenser that I'm using to control the time, I don't have it paired up with my Alexa device. I don't
Okay.
think. I
So
easily
you
could, but I see no
yeah.
reason to.
So, okay, here's another question then. So, it's cool that you've got these different devices that are smart devices in your house, but does it get overwhelming having all these different devices that maybe don't speak to each other? Do you have to have like 20 different apps to control each one, like your garage door opener and these little
Yep.
outlets and certain lights on your house? Like, how do you manage all of that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really overwhelming, Tess. I was actually just thinking about that today, about
Okay.
how obnoxious this is for all of these different
Yeah.
devices. I mean, I've got
Y-
so many smart devices, and I
Yes.
dedicated one page on my phone to the apps that
Okay.
control smart devices. And I'm holding up my phone to the screen for Tessa right now, and there are exactly 25 different apps on my
Wait,
phone that control
I was gonna
smart devices in my house.
Okay, so you were at the point where I imagined it would be, and the whole point of like having technology and smart home stuff is to make your life easier, right? But for me, I call me old school. I like to just flip on a light all the
No,
way, like walk into
this,
because though having 20 different apps I have to go into and manage and download and all that is just it's too much for my brain to handle. I
yeah,
yes, I'm a millennial, but I'm an elder millennial and I can't handle all these different apps and
yeah,
technologies.
it's ridiculous. And, actually, let me be fair. As I'm looking through it, some of these apps, I just kind of categorize them. It's just apps that control things. So
Mhm.
they're
Okay.
not all for my house. I'd say I probably have about 10 to 12 apps that control
Wow.
things on my house. But still,
Dude,
that's a lot. And
well, and like
it
what
doesn't
happens
make things easier. It makes them
oh,
tougher.
exactly. Well, and what
Yes.
happens like God forbid you get in an accident, you're in the hospital, everybody's at home, no one can figure out how to turn on the light or the boiler or the they're like, "Ah,
They're
dad has the
oh yeah.
app," you know?
Oh yeah, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. No,
Like, how are they gonna
all
get
of
their
the
hot water,
devices
their
are
ramen?
easily defeated. I've got smart switches in my house that I've got it programmed so that when I open my garage door, I've got a smart garage door opener, and I installed this applet called If This Then That, and it's set up so that when my garage door opens, it talks to the smart switch in my garage and my garage lights turn on
Oh
because
my
I
gosh.
like it bright.
What?
If I'm not around, well, the switch on the wall still operates when you press the button. It'll still turn on and off like any other
Mm,
switch.
yeah,
So it all still functions. It's just not as
yeah.
smart if you don't have me to operate it all.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
and I
It's
was
the
just
setup. It's the
yeah,
time and energy of getting all these different settings in place and then managing them. That's
yes,
what I don't
yeah,
like.
yeah. You got to be a geek about it. You gotta
Which
take
I am
pleasure in
not.
being able to set this up. Yeah,
So this on the counter hot water thing sounds really nice, and I wish I had one because I just use an old fashioned electric tea kettle. You know,
sure.
I can't set the temperature; it just boils the water, and I
Yeah.
do it whenever I want. But it
Does
sounds
it
nice
sit
being
on
able
your
to just
stove?
no, it's sitting on the counter,
Oh, okay.
so
All
there's
right.
just a little switch
Freestanding
on the kettle.
electric. Okay.
Yeah,
Those are great.
it it serves its purpose, and I don't have any problems. It's just a little switch. You fill it up, turn it on, and boom, hot
Yeah.
water. But you do
Yeah.
have to wait a few minutes, Ruben. So there's that.
I know. You got to be patient. Yeah. Okay. So,
Uh,
all right. I do love that. But if you're not into that, I do have an alternative for you. For
oh,
you, Tessa, I have an
yes.
alternative for you. This is another monitor, and it's just like the Kilowatt EZ, but it's a different brand, and it's almost like a generic brand I found on Amazon. It was $10, and it
Wow.
does the same thing. You plug it in, the buttons are very intuitive. You set how much you use, and it gives you everything you'd want to know. It gives you instant right on the screen. It tells you how many amps are being drawn You can change it and you can see how many volts are coming out of the outlet. You can do everything that you would want to do. And it's $10 on Amazon. And this particular model, I mean, you'd have to go on Amazon and type this in. It says JK-PM07-US. That's all I can find. I mean, I've got the box right here in my hand, and it's so generic. It just says watt power meter monitor consumption. That's all it says. And it's got a barcode. That's it.
Oh, generic. Okay.
It's so
Love
generic.
it. $10.
$10. So if you're interested in monitoring energy usage, how much is this heated toilet seat costing me? Is it worth it to have a warm bum?
Wait, are there different settings for different people? You say, hey, it's Reuben, and it knows what temperature you like it at.
The
Just kidding. We
toilet,
don't need to get into that.
we've got no. You know what? We can touch on that. We've got a bidet, and
Yeah.
everybody ought to own a bidet. If you don't
They're
own a
wonderful.
bidet, you are you're living in the dark ages. You're old school. I'm sorry, but they come with the heat setting.
Yeah.
And I insisted we turn it off because it turns your toilet seat yellow and it makes it
Whoa.
look gross.
Gross. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna, I've had some bad bidet encounters, but when they are working right and the settings are good on them, like they are wonderful.
Yes. Yes. We don't need to go into more detail. That's enough. But you said it nicely, Tess. They're wonderful.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Going back to this energy monitor thing, I do have a question. Ruben, so when you're holding like all 5 of those in your hands, I was wondering, did you test them all on the same device to see if they had the same result?
Of course I did.
Okay. What did you find? Are they
They were within a few percent. Yeah, they
Wow,
were
okay.
all very close.
Very close. Okay. And my next question is, I know that you had an energy monitoring device installed in your main electrical panel for a little while.
Man, you got a
Do you-
good memory. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you still have that? And if so, can that measure that specific appliance on that circuit? Can you tell with the electrical usage, or is it so small you can't even really determine
Great
its usage?
question. And the answer is maybe.
Okay.
The device that I have installed is called Sense. And it's just got these clamps that come on the 2 main conductors that come into my electric panel, the 2 hots. And I think there's one on the neutral too. I don't remember. Maybe it's, there's got to be one on the hot, one on each hot, one on the neutral. It's got to be like that. And it tells you what your whole house is using, but it's supposed to be a learning model where it keeps figuring out new devices that you have on your house. And initially when I installed it for the first month, it kept going, oh, we found a new device. It's this. And then you could label it and we'd say, we think it's a vacuum cleaner. Oh, we think this is a point of use electric water heater. And it would guess, and you could program what it was. And it was great for the first couple of months. It kept finding all these devices and I could track the usage of all these different devices. But after the initial learning, it just kind of stopped. And I thought it was going to keep figuring stuff out, but it wouldn't.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
Really?
So, I mean, it has not figured out my new countertop instant water heater, whatever you want to call this, hot water dispenser.
Okay.
It never figured it out.
Yeah. Well, so that's very interesting, Ruben. And I wonder, isn't that thing a couple years old now?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say probably over 5 years old. I think I installed it
Is it
pre-COVID.
really? Okay. Oh my gosh, time flies.
And
Well, I'm just wondering with how quickly technology is changing, if newer versions work differently and if you can get one that just is constantly learning now. Like maybe the first generation models were like,
that'd be great. But this company, basically, I think they went belly up. I got an email from them a while ago, and I don't remember the details of it, but they said, like, we're not offering support anymore. We're not selling our products anymore. And we're moving over into this space or some version of that. So I don't even think you can buy a new one of these. There's probably different manufacturers out there doing exactly what you said, but I have not pursued it.
Huh. Well, interesting. Yeah. Because I mean, if you just want to measure one device, having those little, specific monitors for an outlet is great. But if you're like trying to kind of map out your whole house, having a device you install on your panel is nice.
Yes. Yes. And speaking of mapping out your whole house, that's the latest project I gave my daughter Lucy, who's 14. My electric panel is not very well labeled. You know, my house was built in 2002, so there's a bunch of circuits that just say lights, which is so obnoxious.
Yes.
I mean, what does that mean? Lights where? So her job right now is to map out every outlet and every light and make a nice chart and have it all figured out. And I'm paying her to do this. But
Oh my
you know, of
gosh,
course,
that's awesome. Does she love it or does she hate it?
she kind of hates it. She kind of hates it. I'm having a hard time keeping her motivated to work on it. But you know, we
A
did it
dollar a
together at
circuit or
first.
like $10 a circuit?
No, we're
She
just got a
figures
flat rate to get the whole thing done. Yeah, and I said it's going to
Oh,
take a while, and I helped her with it
ooh,
at first. But
ooh.
I realized what you really need, and you know, this is what I used to do when was trying to figure stuff out. You just plug a radio into an outlet, and then you flip breakers until you hear the radio turn off. And I'm like, let's just do that. And she's like, well, we don't have a radio. She's right. We
Oh
don't.
my gosh.
We don't have a radio.
Yeah. I used to have like an old alarm clock that was a radio or boombox. I had a boombox too.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
right. I don't either. I
yeah.
use my phone and I hook it up to a Bluetooth speaker and listen
Same
to
here.
that. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean,
Wow.
it's like I'm telling her this great solution, and then it just dawns on me we don't own a radio. So what do we do? So I bought a device that should be coming tomorrow. It was like $10 or something, and it's a power failure alarm. So you plug it into an outlet. It's got a little battery in there, and then when the outlet, if the power goes out to the outlet, it screams a loud alarm. I guess the idea is you plug it in your garage freezer or your sump pump or something like that to alert you to a power outage.
Wow.
So I'll let you know how
Okay.
that works.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
a total
yeah.
tangent. Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
working
interesting.
on it. Yep.
Yeah. Very cool.
Okay. Anything else we should talk about for those energy meters before I move on to the last thing that's going on?
No, I think let's move in.
Okay.
I can see it.
All
I
right.
can see the fire in your eyes, Ruben. I'm excited for this last topic here.
Okay. This last one, I was messing around and I actually plugged in one of those energy meters to my under sink water heater, the one that failed on me many years ago
Mm-hmm.
and caused an insurance claim. And then after
Yep.
that happened, I installed a backups. Well, it's a leak prevention system for my home. It's basically this device that clamps onto the main shutoff valve for your house, and it's got a motor. So, and then you got these pucks that get installed in a bunch of strategic locations. It's a little puck, looks like this. I'm holding up a little white thing that's about half the size of a deck of cards, and it's got sensors on the bottom and on the top. So if it gets wet, it communicates wirelessly to the main shutoff device, and it'll turn off all of the water to your house. This
Wow.
saved me from having a big leak in my kitchen the next time my point of use water heater failed, because I had my water heater installed in a tray, started leaking, and it set it off, and it saved me from another flood. Wonderful. Wouldn't live
Wow.
without it,
Wow.
but turns out I've been living without it, because the one that I've got, it's made by this company called Elexa, kind of like Alexa, but starts with an E. Elexa is the company who makes it. It's called Guardian. I bought it at Lowe's for about $300, and it was pretty easy to install, and it worked really well for many years. But then some of the batteries on the sensors died, and I ended up buying new batteries. It's these specialized
Ugh,
little
pain in the
lithium
butt.
ion batteries, pain in the butt. And then they weren't paired to my hub anymore. And I tried
Oh,
all this stuff. So I disconnected my hub. I tried to
ugh.
reconnect it to my phone. I spent way too long on this.
Yeah.
Finally,
This is my worst nightmare.
oh, yeah, it's so obnoxious, Tess, but I'm very persistent. So I reached out to the company. I had contacted them about something before. So I had the CEO's email and the
Oh,
chief
wow.
tech support guy's email and the general email for tech
Oh
support.
my goodness.
And I emailed all of them, and I did it several times. I called, I got nothing, no
Oh.
response whatsoever. And after months of this, I said, look, I can't live without it. So I ditched it and I bought a new one. So
Same company, different company.
Different company. Yeah,
Good.
the one that I
Okay.
bought now, I didn't do a ton of research. I got on Amazon. I looked for something that looked like it was about the equivalent and it had good
Yeah.
ratings. The one I happened to install was called YoLink, as in yo, let's link up this and
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
YoLink, YoLink. I'm not specifically endorsing their product. It's just the one
Yeah.
that I happened to buy. And the installation was just as easy. I made a video. I think that was actually in my blog post this week, or it might have been my blog from last week. Whatever it is, you can find it if you go to the Structure Tech website. I made a video showing me installing it. I sped it up a little. It took 7 minutes, Tess. 7 minutes to remove the old one, take off the valve, put the new one on, clamp it down, plug it in, and then it probably took another hour to mess around on my phone and pair it to my phone and pair all the
Yeah.
sensors to the thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
bottom line is it all worked exactly as it should. It was fairly intuitive, and now I feel good about all of my most likely to leak plumbing fixtures. I've got
Right.
sensors installed at the point of use water heater. I've got one under my dishwasher, one behind my refrigerator because ice makers are notorious for
Yep.
leaks, and then
Yeah.
one right next to the washing machine. So if
Okay.
any of those things go, I'm protected, even if I'm not home, whatever. I mean, I hear
Wow.
people talk about, well, you can buy stuff by TAPO. That's the brand I just mentioned who has the remote energy monitor
Oh yeah.
devices. They make remote water devices too, and it'll
Huh.
set off an alarm and it'll tell you on your app that you got a leak. My only problem with that is that if it starts leaking and I'm out of town, well, it doesn't do me any good. I want something that's
Yeah.
just automatic, and
Turns it
that's
off.
what the,
Yeah. Turns
yeah.
the water off.
So that's what the YoLink did. And I guess my advice is, if you don't have some type of automatic water leak detection system in your house, I strongly recommend installing one. I would not want to live in another house that doesn't have one. Sure, it takes a little bit of time to put it in. And yes, you have an initial investment. I mean, it was like $350 or something for this new system,
Yeah.
but it is far less expensive than one insurance claim deductible.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, the deductible is the least of your worries. It's just dealing with all of the mess and the damage and the disruption to your life that's the
Yeah.
big cost. And I don't want to have to go through all of that again. So, like I
Yeah.
said,
It's a good.
I would not want to live in a house without one of these.
It helps you sleep good at night. Hopefully.
Exactly.
So does this new do the new sensors, do they have the same kind of battery that the prior version you had installed does? So like will they eventually die in a few years too? And do you think you'll have the same kind of problem?
Great question. And no, this new one, and I didn't even look it up before I bought it. I just bought it. I thought, I don't care.
Yeah.
As it turns out, it takes two AAA batteries, and they say it's supposed to last 5 years.
Mm. Nice.
I don't know
Okay.
how, but
Yeah.
that's easy. Now, I've got the
Triple
puck
A's.
in
Yeah.
my hand here, and for the life of me, I can't figure out how I would replace the batteries. I mean, it looks like
Yeah.
this thing's all glued together. I might need to get a saw
Huh.
to get this apart,
Jeez.
but I'll deal with that when the time comes. And if I have to replace the whole thing after 5 years,
Yeah.
I'm not bummed. It'll be worth it for the peace of mind or the potential one flood that it saves.
So how long did the first set last for? How long were the batteries good for, roughly?
It was probably 2 to 3 years, I'd say.
2 to 3 years. Okay. So that's like $100 a year, basically.
Yeah, yeah, and I'd say
Okay.
worth it. Or let's break it down by month. $10 a month, worth
Yeah.
it.
For peace of mind to save you from
Yeah,
a water event.
yeah,
Yeah.
well worth it.
Well, that's cool. Well, I'm sorry you had that's a pain in the butt situation where you something fails and you can't hook it up and reset it. I've had that happen a few times on different devices and it's so frustrating. You spend so much
Yes.
time and you don't make any progress. It's like ugh, it's the
Yep.
worst.
Yep. Exactly. So if anybody wants my old one, and you're local, you can come to my house and grab it. You can try to get it to work. You're welcome
I
to. Yeah.
I
It's
can't
up for
believe you didn't
grabs.
get any. I can't believe you sent all these emails to the top people of the company and never heard anything back.
I couldn't believe it either, Tessa. Very
Do they
disappointing.
know you have a famous podcast?
Should I give them, don't you know who I am?
Don't
Yeah.
they know who you
I get
are? You're
I get
the
tens
Reuben
of
Saltzman.
listeners every week. Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
man,
well.
well, I would think, Reuben, with your influence, you could maybe get some devices donated to you for free to test out.
Yeah, I probably could have tried it, but you know what? I'm happy to pay for it and just give my 100%
Yeah,
unbiased review of it.
yeah.
Not that that
I appre-
stops me from trashing the TopDon infrared camera.
Sorry, TopDon.
You know what? I told them I'd be honest. I do that with all the stuff people send me.
Not
It's
the
like,
top dog,
not
TopDon.
the top dog. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Reuben, that was a fun little episode. Thanks for all the updates on your little experiments around your house.
Well, thanks for listening, Tess. You are a great audience. I sure appreciate you.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
All right. Anything else you want to share right now? You said you probably not. You want to hold off a little bit.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're
Okay.
good. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
wrap it up. We do have another podcast scheduled for this year still, don't we? This is not the last one of
Yeah, I
2025.
think we've got one more, and then we've
Okay.
got a bunch of guests lined up for 2026 already. So
Wow.
can't wait.
Crazy. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
All right. Well, thank you, Tessa. And for our listeners, if you got any thoughts, anything, any stories about any of the stuff that I've touched on, you are welcome to write us. We read all the emails. You can find us at email us podcast@structuretech.com, and we will catch you next time. Take care.
Thanks for listening.